Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. Got a great program planned for you. As always, in the first hour, we're going to bring to you computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the second hour, it's the GizWiz. Dick DeBartolo, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. Got some great stories for us as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we get things started momentarily. Sit back, relax, enjoy 2 hours of Computer America.
One minute until showtime. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it is Wednesday. It is hump day. It's the middle of the week, and we are halfway through. Yes. And as always, it's a little rainy here today. We got some storms. Nothing bad, nothing too bad to talk about, but just
we got 2 inches of rain over the next 2 days. I don't know if anyone out there has dealt with severe weather, but 2 inches of rain is so much. I mean, it is tragic how damp the roads are. It's crazy.
The dogs didn't even want to go out. We try to let them go out, that they don't want to get their paws wet.
For anyone out there who did not pick up on my sarcasm, I am of course referring to the folks that got 3 to 4 feet of snow in the Northeast. So,
yeah, that's horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah, so I think a few inches of rain I think we're going to be okay compared to the state of emergency that they are declaring out there.
Did you see that? What was it in California? Like those apartment homes on the edge.
Yeah, that's not a weather phenomena. That's a
erosion
problem. And we've had erosion on banks before, but they have apartments that are on cliffs now.
Literally at the edge of a cliff, they're falling over.
It's like apartment, porch, cliff. It ain't good.
And sometimes it's apartment, half a porch, and cliff. I mean, it's really, really not good. And we were out in that area last time we visited the California.
But I mean, yes, unfortunate that these people are going to have to relocate. It's never good when someone loses their home, and hopefully, people have insurance for this kind of thing, and they aren't in too much of a financial stress because of this. But at the same time, that is on the very, very edge of this entire thing we call the continental United States. There's a lot of land out there that is not, right there about to be sucked into the ocean. And it's called the Midwest, folks. It's very empty, very sparse, and the people there are very, very lonely. You should go visit them, buy a house there, live somewhere where your house isn't going to fall into the ocean because, we have those now. We have that technology.
Yeah. Yes, it's just scary though to look out there and just see the edge of a cliff and know that's your house literally is on the precipice of that.
I'm just saying, it's like, yes, the erosion problem is happening, and yes, it's going to continue to happen. I mean, it's not going to stop just because your apartment building is in the way. But at the same time, it's not like we're running out of land. It's like, oh no, we have a real, land shortage. We really don't. We really don't.
Mm. But they picked that area of land, I guess, for the incredible view, because if you look back in the 90s, they actually had aerial photographs comparing to how much land was there in the 90s.
Oh yeah, no. In the 90s, there was a couple hundred feet between the the cliff and the apartment building, but in just a short 10, 15 years, the ocean closed the gap.
Yeah, wow. I don't think it ever even occurred to anybody that that was going to really happen like that, and at least not in the so close to the immediate future. So anyhow, it's just part of life, I guess. And hopefully, people, as you say, have insurance. Not all of them do. I don't think they do. Anyhow, we've got 2 hours of Computer America coming at you today. In the first hour, we're going to do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the second hour, we have the charming, the wonderful, very funny GizWiz. The GizWiz is going to be here. Dick DeBartolo, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, is going to be joining us here. He's got a whole list of things that he finds for us on the internet, and he's going to be joining us in the second hour, straight from New York.
Not just the internet, though. He actually does attend conventions, and
Yeah, he does.
He does the legwork himself.
Yeah, he does. He does, and he really finds some really cool things to talk about. If you have a comment or a question for us, we would certainly love to hear from you. We are live Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're listening to us at that, you can pick up the phone, give us a call. 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881 will get you on and get you through. If you don't want to go on the air, we have another way you can communicate with us. Just go to any page at computeramerica.com. And on the upper right-hand corner of every page at our website, there's a submit a question link. Just click it. It'll take you to a question submission page. You can type in your question or comment. Click the submit button, and Ben and I will see it immediately and act accordingly. The other thing you can do is you can also watch the Computer America broadcasts. We also stream the live video of our radio show. And again, go to any page at computeramerica.com, and you'll see Show Lounge. It's on there on the menu bar. Just click it. And if you're doing it while we're live, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, you will be joined to the show already in progress, and you can watch the show live. And Ben has the technology to display websites, movies, videos in the background, so you can see everything that we're talking about. Especially when Dick DeBartolo comes on the second hour, you'll be able to see Dick as well as myself and Ben, and you can also see him and what he and his antics that he's up to. So it's just a lot of fun, and we welcome you to participate in watching the Computer Maker Show. We go through a great amount of effort to make it happen, and we certainly love for you to take advantage of that and watch us, see us. It's a lot of fun. Okay. So anything else before we get started, Ben?
Anything else? No, I think you hit almost everything there. And
we didn't talk about the archives.
The archives?
Yeah, archives.
We have them.
Yeah, if we have archives, yes. If you click the archives button on any page at computeramerica.com, you can see all the places where you can listen to archives of the show. If you missed the live broadcast, we're archived on Apple's iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, the Blog Talk Radio Network archives all of our shows, so you can actually listen to them live if you miss any portion of the show. So that's all there as well. Okay, so let's do some computer news then. I guess we're all set for that.
Yep.
Today's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. SlimwareUtilities.com. Go to that website. Check them out. We use all of their programs here at the Craftsman household. If you have Windows 10, you're going to appreciate what Slimware Utilities can do for you. That privacy tool is wonderful. It's all available to you. We highly suggest that you download them all. Check it out. You're going to thank us for it, and you'll be happy that you did it. Okay, SlimwareUtilities.com.
Right. So for our first story, we're going to get into, let's see, there were a lot of great stories, by the way, today when hunting through the archives of the internet. And yeah, I mean, there were so many good ones. I think we're going to start off with this one. It seems to be making the rounds. And I guess we can talk about what it is and show you some video footage and really ask the question, is this going to become a thing? And, you know, it might just. So if you're wondering just what we're referring to, by the way, we highly recommend that you do check out the video footage of the show. Completely optional, that kind of stuff, but we do make it very convenient just to watch the videos and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna put up the videos for you while we're reading this in the background. But suffice to say, it's something called the Drone Racing League, and how it took over the Miami Dolphins stadium, and it filmed a video to show just what a drone racing league would be. So this is from BGR, and you know, obviously there's a YouTube channel dedicated to the Drone Racing League, and it's now from, again, saying competitive drone racing is now a real thing, and it takes advantage of the two hottest trends so far in the 21st century, which are being remote-controlled drones and virtual reality headsets. The Drone Racing League this week posted some incredible videos that show competitive drone races in action as they look like they could be become the coolest new sport that the author has seen in a long time. And you know, again, if you're watching the video portion, you can see these guys strap on their virtual reality headsets, and the camera for them racing through these leagues, like, it's not like they're sitting back in a lawn chair and they're, you know, going through an obstacle course in the middle of the, you know, Miami Dolphins football stadium. No, using the cameras that are attached to the drones, they put on virtual reality headsets, and then it's as if the person flying it is seeing it from a first-person perspective, which I think gives it an air of a little more excitement, because you can then take your racetrack, and they don't have to be in line of sight. Like, they can be all over the stadium, they can be all over abandoned buildings, they can be, you know, they can set them up in a bunch of different places. Like the one that they actually had set up for the Miami football stadium is where they actually took over the stadium, and yes, they were flying around the stands, not just in the center of the field, but they were flying around the stands. They had obstacles set up and like little goals that they had to fly through. In the stadium itself, they actually took the drone racing, and admittedly, this won't happen during the actual events if they do become stadium size, but they were flying them through, you know, through the places that you walk through to, you know, get to the stadium. They were flying everywhere. It's not like they had a very set course in the middle of the stadium. Okay. So it's, you know, very, very cool. And there were, of course, obstacles to avoid. There were things that they had to, you know, kind of turn their quadricopter on its side and slip through, you know, very, very narrow obstacles. Lots of crashing, lots of blowing up of drones. But, you know, all in all, it's they're hoping, or at least, you know, the video, of course, coming from the official Drone Racing League YouTube, says that it will be the next biggest thing. This is the future of sports. So
drone racing.
Yeah, I guess, Greg, what do you think?
A lot safer, I'll tell you, than the NASCAR. I mean, you know, you won't
safer than NASCAR, safer than football. Football has been shown to be very dangerous. They're very harmful to the person using it. Drones, you know, drones crash into walls all the time, as shown by myself whenever I use drones.
Yeah.
But Craig, what do you think?
As I said, I think it's a great idea. I think it's wonderful. You're not endangering human lives when you participate in this. It certainly shows the advancement in the technology. And
Safety aside, though, I mean, could you see this as something enjoyable to watch? Because to
absolutely.
do, I have no doubt that putting on a virtual reality headset and so it kind of looks like that you're flying through first person all these obstacles. I have no doubt that would be fun, but how much fun would drone racing be as
No.
a spectator sport?
I think it'd be a great spectator sport. I'm watching it. One of the best videos I've ever watched was that video with a drone flying through fireworks and everything, and that was incredible. I mean, drone flying and watching drones flying, competing against each other, I think would be terrific. Any more so than can people sit around and watching other people playing video games? Absolutely. That's what Twitch and all this they're about. They do really well. I think that watching drones in a racing, a competitive environment would be terrific. I think it would get a lot of people watching
Well, I think that's another benefit of something like drone racing is that things like, and yes, we're going to make a lot of comparisons to NASCAR, but things like NASCAR, bandwidth permitting, you really don't get to control what you see in NASCAR. I mean, there may be a couple ways. I haven't kept up on my NASCAR technology, but mainly you tune into, CBS or wherever NASCAR is being held, and you watch the race and you watch the television feed. Something like a drone racing league, because it's so technology focused and technology oriented, think about something like live streaming where you can watch these sporting events, but also virtual reality, it's coming to the consumer market.
You can
You could sit on your own virtual reality headset, you can sit back and actually have the first person's perspective as they're flying.
Right, you could actually select one of the drones and see what the drone is seeing. You could tie into the video feed from the drone live. They would set it up that way, so you could do that. So you can watch different perspectives. You can watch it from different drones' perspectives. You can do an establishment shot. Just pull back and look at the whole racetrack. I mean, and I think there'd be plenty of things to do like that, and people could certainly interact. I think this can be incredibly popular.
Right. So, but like I said, they took over the Miami Dolphins Sun Life Stadium in Florida, and they filmed these great videos. You should definitely go check them out if you're simply listening to us.
Yeah.
But the videos are very, very well made, and obviously they have a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks very, very entertaining, to say the least.
All right. Excellent. All right, I got a question for you. What do you think is probably the most cerebral, complex board game, to play? I know.
Monopoly.
What?
Monopoly.
Monopoly. Nope.
Because you have traitorous friends that you need to plot and
I'm talking pure logic. I'm talking pure logic. No luck factor. No dice rolling. You would think chess would be the ultimate, but it's
shogi. I think shogi.
Go. Is the most difficult board game to play, and not necessarily in the mainstream, but it is. The rules,
not in the U.S. mainstream, but let's face it, it's a Chinese board game. China has 1.3 billion people,
right? So
it's pretty popular,
and it's incredibly advanced. It takes it's a lifelong study to play even an average game. So to come up with, and as you know, IBM finally came up with Big Blue. And they got it so it was able to beat any grandmaster. They got it to that point, and so I guess they said, okay, well, what's next? Because that took a long time. I mean, there was a lot of controversy, but they finally got it. So now, of course, it doesn't defeat the grandmaster the way the grandmaster plays chess, but with elegant solutions. It does it by brute force. Google's artificial intelligence. They've been working on a version of Go, and evidently, according to this story a few minutes ago from Engadget, Google's artificial intelligence is the first one to defeat a Go champion, which is a huge win for artificial intelligence to do this. Google's DeepMind division has pulled off an impressive milestone. its artificial intelligence has beaten a top-ranked Go player 5 matches to 0.
So it's not just one, and it's like, oh, the person messed up or whatever. 5 in a row. That's a trend.
Yeah. Now I don't know the sophistication of the Grandmaster, but let's read further on. It says, while computers winning chess matches against professional players has been old hat for a while, the computational power needed to master the Chinese game of Go is astronomical. You think, oh, there's so many complex, there's millions and billions of moves with chess. No, but with Go, you get into those high numbers. And according to Google, there are more possible moves in the game of Go than there are atoms in the universe. Think about that. That's phenomenal. I don't know how many ones with how many zeros after that, but that's a huge number. And to make that happen is just phenomenal. So Google built a system called AlphaGo just to tackle the game's nearly infinite possibilities. Instead of just trying to determine all the possible combinations of a game like it would with chess, which remember that's the way they did that. Basically, they couldn't use a brute force system because the numbers are too big. And so the Google team fed the system's neural network 30 million moves from professional players that it had to learn, and then it had to learn how to create its own strategies by playing itself using a trial and error process called reinforcement learning. So it's a whole different process, really. Mm-hmm. All that training took up huge amounts of processing power and had to be offloaded to the Google Cloud platform. It was that here. They couldn't do this on, your average laptop. It then invited reigning 3-time European Go champion Fan Hui to its office to play against AlphaGo. And we're actually looking at the video right now. Just amazing, okay? The computer defeated him. Now, Google was quick to point out that beating a human at Go is just one rung on the ladder to solving artificial intelligence. So AlphaGo is now slotted to take on world champion Lee Sedol in March. So this was a Go champion, but not a world champion. Still, and you can see the expression on the challenger's face.
And it's funny too, because even if the world champion beats the computer, because of the type of programming that went into this, that the computer is going to learn a lot from playing. But that kind of that level of skill. So even if they lose, they won't continue to lose. Like they're not like humans who are set in their ways and have traditions. I mean, this computer is going to learn and learn and learn.
Yeah, but the way it's learning and learning and learning is not the way the Big Blue learned chess, because those moves were finite compared to. I mean, come on, more moves than there are atoms in the universe. I mean, this is just. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I actually looked at the game of Go a while back, and it is extremely complex. This is not something you just sit down like a game of Monopoly, read the rule book, and start playing. It's not. It is. So evidently, the 3-time reigning European Go champion got defeated. So evidently, they're now going to the world champion, Lee Sedol, in March. I'm very curious to see what happens, because, as you say, if he doesn't beat him, then they're just going to. And then it's just a matter of time. They're going to have to continue They keep having the game play itself and learning and learning and learning until it gets to the point where it'll pass even human intelligence and become undefeated. If the algorithms hold true, which obviously they do.
And fortunately or unfortunately, that is what artificial intelligence is going to be. You're going to program it to solve a problem, and it's going to learn and learn and learn incrementally, and eventually it's going to learn the best way to solve that problem. be it creating a product, be it doing a job. It's going to learn how to do that job the best it possibly can.
Well,
and after a certain amount of time, there's no better way, and it just knows. That is artificial intelligence.
Well, neural networks. By the way, just Firefox just announced that version 44 is now available to upgrade. By the way,
oh my goodness,
yes, that was. Neural networks, from their inception, were designed to process information like we as humans do. In other words, it's not line by line on a serial. It's not traditional coding like we think of it. If this, then do that, else do this. It's not that. A neural network, in its sophistication, it's going to get to the point where it becomes so smart. Even the people who coded it or programmed it won't necessarily know how it's working. And therein lies, I think, some of the fear of artificial, because when it gets to the point where it's so sophisticated that it designs computers and algorithms that we didn't design, and it has the potential to supersede the intelligence of humans. And I think this is one of the things that the big three have been warning us about. When it gets to the point where it surpasses our understanding of how it's working, and neural networks hold that promise that they can do that. We could be in a lot of we could be in a lot of trouble. So we just have to, watch it very closely.
Watch it very closely.
I don't know.
I don't think we're ever gonna get to a point where robots take over humanity. That's even a little outlandish.
Okay.
But we're not arguing the complexity of.
No, we just want to report. Yeah, we just wanted to report this story, which was very significant.
So we have time for one more story before the break. Though this show is just flying by so far.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let's talk about the DeLorean.
Ah, yes.
The DeLorean is a quintessential nerd car. It's a car that I think a lot of people know because of a very particular series of movies, Back to the Future, of course. And it's very iconic in the way it looks with the gold wing doors and all that kind of stuff. And getting the limited run that they actually produce these things, they're quite rare. And everyone has always said that I'd really like to own one. I'd really like to own one. Well, check out this story. This is from Ars Technica, and DeLorean Motor Company will start building new DMC-12s. Yes, brand new ones, not old ones or not refurbished ones, but actually building new ones. So, the DeLorean DMC-12 might have been destined to pass quietly into obscurity. That is, until starring role in, again, Back to the Future. Did you know there are only about 8,500 DMC-12s left DeLorean's factory in Northern Ireland between 1981 and 1983?
Yeah.
Until it all fell apart, allowing founder John DeLorean's arrest by the FBI on charges of drug trafficking. Oh, so it was a Coke-mobile. That's nice.
Well, actually, they set him up. I actually saw the videotapes of the FBI videotapes where he was in a hotel and he was looking for funding. He needed more funding to continue the car, and then they made this deal with him, and it turned out to be a drug bust. So.
That doesn't sound like a setup, but anywho,
they didn't have venture capitalists. They didn't have Kickstarter, and that's back in those days.
I guess not. I guess it was either Coke or nothing. Huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, whatever. But Doc Brown, as we all know, put the flux capacitor in to the DeLorean, and after that, it was history. But the Texas-based DeLorean Motor Company, now directly related to its defunct not directly related to its defunct predecessor, has been supplying parts and rebuilding or restoring DMC-12s for many years. Now it is able to build cars as well.
New ones, yeah.
Yeah, following changes to the law governing low-volume auto manufacturers. The 2015 Surface Transportation Reauthorization and Reform Act of 2015, very, very succinct, rolled up a lot of different transportation-related bills, including one that now allows companies to build replica vehicles without having to satisfy modern safety regulations, as long as there are fewer than 325 of them made each year.
Okay, so they don't have to meet the stringent safety.
Yeah, I guess getting a DeLorean to get 28 miles to the gallon and certain emission things was impossible, and I guess that led to many of the cars that people say, yeah, I'd buy that if they made them. I guess they couldn't make them because if you can't meet the standards, then you don't get to make it.
Guess what? Those 325 cars a year, though, they're going to sell for a very pretty penny. And you know what? People will going to buy them.
Because undoubtedly they'll be numbered 1 through 325 of the 2016, 2017, 2018 year. And I bet you as many thousands as they're going to be able to pump out a year, or a decade, they will always find places. Like people really, really do like these cars.
Yes, they do. And Back to the Future aside, I mean, it's a great, cool looking car. And they're even talking about maybe making an electric version of this as down the road.
Actually, I take back what I said a little bit earlier. Replica cars still have to meet current Environmental Protection Agency standards for emissions. So the DeLorean 12's old Puget Renault Volvo V6 is out. DMC's CEO told Houston that the final price will depend on whichever engine replaces the old unit. Although a new car should still cost less than $100,000, there could even be an electric variant, as Craig said. Yeah. So the little has been heard about this version for some time now.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are doing computer and technology news. We're going to break here for our commercial messages, and then we'll be back with more computer and news stories. This is the Computer America Show. Please stay with us.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
That she's a self-made stuffer. Hi, Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Maker's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Getting past the zombie gimmick, Simon Monk's The Maker's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse from No Starch Press is a guidebook to using simple circuits and mostly scavenged parts to make interesting things happen. Many of the projects build on Arduino or Raspberry Pi boards using simple things like microswitches, lights, horns, LEDs, and webcams. With simple stimuli and responses, the controller instructions also stay simple. He even tells how to strip and solder wires. Lost art, right? Bottom line, we can't think of a less stressful way to get into cobbling together cool stuff than the projects that the Maker's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse inspires. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour, as it always is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and we just finished up the story about how DeLoreans are going to be making replica cars of their iconic Back to the Future, esque cars. So, and of course, this could lead the way to other cars that are very, very sought after, collectible, and, stylish, could be in the same boat. Of course, all of them will be limited runs. So don't expect, 15,000 new DeLoreans hit the road. No, it's very, very small run, but very cool nonetheless.
I'm still kind of reeling from that. That's the first story that we did. That there are more moves for the game of Go than there are atoms in the universe. It's just
probably more combinations of moves, not more moves. Like plain. Like, if you do one thing, then let's say there's another million moves that can be played off of that one move. And then if you go another move, there are a million, it's not just, open board. And then right there's more atoms or more moves than atoms. Okay. I think as the game goes on, there are more combinations of moves than there are atoms in the universe.
Still staggering amount. I mean, you just, they want to invent the game that you couldn't learn by rote.
It's math is fun.
Yeah. Well, this next story is from Tech Hive, and I keep saying, Java and Flash, they just won't die. They won't go on. They continue to go on, and evidently, according to this story, Flash is basically on life support, but the big websites still won't let it go. Okay. Now there's a new report that predicts Flash will mostly disappear, let's say within 2 years now. I just got today an update to the Flash player. I mean, so it's still going on. They're still supporting it now. Anyway, as a video format, Adobe Flash is almost gone for good. This is getting according to Jared Newman from Tech Hive. According to a report by encoding.com, Flash accounted for just 6% of video output last year, down 15% from 2014. Today, it's mainly used for legacy browsers, banner ads, and some specific edge cases. He says, the report says, we expect to see the Flash video codec disappear completely from our report within 24 months. That sounds like great news for people who drop Flash from their web browsers due to security concerns and performance drawbacks. But for encoding.com's bold prediction to pan out, several major streaming sites will have to change their ways. Hulu, for example, and they're right up there in the mainstream, still continues to require a Flash player for its desktop website. The site actually encodes video in H.264, but uses a Flash video container for streaming. Encoding.com CEO Gregory Hell said that this type of scenario still counts as use of Flash video in its percentages. Other major streaming sites that still rely on Flash Player include HBO Go, CBS, NBC, Major League Baseball.tv, Showtime, Pandora, and Spotify. They're all still using it. So the notion of major sites clinging to Flash video is more than just anecdotal. Okay. For a story in Fast Company last August, Web Technology Metrics from W3 Techs told the author that Flash was still in use on roughly 10% of all websites, but on roughly 15% of the top 1,000 sites. It makes sense that bigger sites would have a tougher time changing their technology. Still, there has to be some progress in moving away from Flash Player. There has been some progress, okay? Last summer, Twitch finally switched to HTML5 for its video player and HTTP live streaming for the underlying stream last summer. So that's good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Amazon rolled out an HTML5 web video player around the same time. Netflix and YouTube have offered HTML5 players for years. So some of the big boys are doing it, okay? But there's still some still hanging on there. He says, look, it's anybody's guess when other big sites might follow the trend. In the meantime, Flash's decline will come largely from the explosion of mobile devices, none of which support Adobe's aging video format or media player. So, you know, Steve Jobs was prophetic, and he was he said it. Look, I've always maintained, you know, since HTML5 can do everything that Flash can do, then why
I don't know who you're trying to sway with this. I don't think anyone disagrees with you.
Yeah, I know.
Preaching to the choir.
I'm hoping that the big sites, you know, will finally get it done. That's what he's saying. He's the same. Jared Newman's saying the same thing.
Well, they don't hold on to it because no, Flash is clearly better. No, it's they don't have the manpower, resources, whatever to make the switch. I mean, this is going to be a costly thing. They have to redo their entire platform, and that takes a lot of, you know, that's a lot of paid work that has to go into it.
It does. But hopefully it will eventually resolve itself. It looks like it is. They're saying another 2 years.
I mean, even Flash isn't like, no, guys, stay and use Flash. It's even Adobe isn't saying stay and use Flash. Adobe says stop using Flash too. We're tired of supporting it. I mean, it's, you know, no one wants that thing to stay around. It's just the websites who don't have the, you know, don't have the manpower, I guess. Like that really is it. It's just the time spent making the infrastructure in the new language. Like that's the only thing holding them back.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think, Ben, would happen if Adobe said, okay, that's it. We're not going to support it. We're not coming up with any more updates. We're done. We're tired of, you know, telling we don't want to support it. We have other products. We're gonna. What do you think?
I think that if you sign a contract and you pay someone to support your software, and then the software company says we're not supporting this anymore, I think that's liable for damages.
I don't think. Well, first of all, Adobe Flash Player is free. You know?
I think they license it out to large companies.
Yeah, but when at the end of the license, you just say that we're not going to renew the license. It's done. We're finished. You know, and how many years it takes.
Why would they pass up free money?
I'm just saying, if they
why would someone thrust them a fistful of cash and say, "Hey, we want to use your platform," and Adobe says, "No, keep your money. We don't care. We're done with this product." No, they're going to keep offering it as long as people keep paying them.
Well, hopefully, okay.
Eventually, but it'll happen.
All right.
Speaking of things that are going away, this is I don't want to say troubling, but it's something different. And this is IAB. I do not currently know off the top of my head, but I guess we'll find out with the article. IAB CEO continues to hammer ad blockers. And ad blockers, you know, we have recommended ad blockers here on the show. We think they're great tools for browsing the internet and, you know, save you time and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but they can cause complications, and I'm glad you brought this up because just the other day, we use the Blog Talk Radio Network for audio streaming as well. And one day, I couldn't stream the audio anymore, and it would hang, it would freeze every time. I mean, everything else would work, but it just the hanging no, and it was not only our audio, but it was any audio on Blog Talk Radio Network was not working. So then I tried a different browser. I tried Chrome first, same thing. It froze. But then I tried Safari, and it worked. I could get all the things. So what's going on here? So I figured, well, it's got to be a cookie. So I contacted tech support. You know what the culprit was? The ad blocker. There was an update, and the ad blocker. So the moment I turned off the ad blocker, all the audio streaming started to work.
So you didn't update it, or
Nope.
Even updated it was still causing problems.
Yeah, after it updated, I think after the update, it started the ad blocker.
Are you still using AdBlock Plus?
Yes, I'm still using AdBlock.
Yeah, I actually stopped using that a little while ago. They were purchased by one of the largest ad producers in the world, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, and their CEO started talking about how ad blocker is going to start permanently whitelisting certain types of ads. So, your ad blocker is no longer an ad blocker. It's a selective ad blocker.
Well, thanks for telling me.
And so,
What-
well, no, I thought you knew. It's
No. What are you using now?
uBlocker. It's made by Origin, I think. But yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Okay, all right. Anyway, that's what happened. As soon as I turned it off, because ad blocker,
uBlock Origin, if you want to Google it by name.
uBlock Origin.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, what I did is you can selectively with ad blocker it offers you options. You can disable on a particular page, or you can do it on the domain and everything. So I told it to not work on blogtalkradio.net, and sure enough, everything started working again. So
Right.
so
Okay, well, yeah. So keep your stuff up to date. That's always a good tip. But let's get into the story here about ad blockers and why the CEO continues to hammer ad blockers. And this is a good case to know the source of what you're hearing. And so Randall Rothenberg, President and Chief Executive Officer for the Interactive Advertising Bureau. Again, is the Chief Executive Officer of the Interactive Advertising Bureau, drew criticism from a fiery speech on Monday during which he took ad blocking companies to task for being profiteers standing in the way of free speech. And he's not backing down. So yeah, the IAB chief, whose trade organization represents companies across the advertising industry, delivered a keynote in Palm Desert, California, after spending some time praising the group's new offices and urging the industry to hire more minorities. Mr. Rothenberg fired off some heated language. He accused ad blocking companies of being exploitative, disingenuous crooks who threaten the media business, the future of American journalism, and even the freedom of speech.
wow, that's okay.
That's a lot to put on ad blockers.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, and the article here had some highlights from his speech here, saying that
why he hates the ad block profiteers. That's
right.
Okay.
So yeah, and he put here is AdBlock Plus is an old-fashioned extortion racket, gussied up in a flowery but false language of contemporary consumerism, which is weird because AdBlock really doesn't charge anything ever.
No, it doesn't.
So AdBlock companies are self-proclaimed libertarians whose liberty involves denying freedom to everyone else. Okay. And ad blocking companies, technologies indiscriminately obstruct competitive pricing data, information about product features, vital political opinions, site content, user options, public interest communications, and other intelligence necessary for the functioning of democratic capitalist societies. Whew. So, in response.
But remember, he's the president of the Interactive Advertising Bureau. This is, these things are flying directly in the face.
Essentially, he called everyone who uses AdBlock software a libertarian and anti-democratic freedom of speech hater.
Yeah.
So, whatever. So in response, Ben Williams, who's the operations and communications manager for AdBlock Plus, provided a statement looking to present his company as a friend to the digital ad industry. And he says, as ever, we remain interested in discovering better, more sustainable ways for publishers and content creators to get paid. And we invite anyone and everyone to join us in doing so. So, and he had a lot of really severe words. One more quote here, saying that I just wanted to bring truth to the BS. There is nothing loaded in the language I used at all. It's very straightforward. Ad blocking companies are engaged in for-profit business, and I've gussied up what they're doing with language of false consumerism. So again, doubling down. And just to give you some numbers here, AdBlock Plus reported that 15 million Americans have downloaded its software in November, and last summer, Adobe and the Dublin-based company PageFair predicted the publishers were set to lose nearly $22 billion in 2015 because of ad blocking, a 41% jump from the previous year.
Hmm.
That's a big jump, $22 billion.
Yeah.
So, and of course, they are engaged in an intellectually false and morally corrupt exercise. Advertising is the form of monetization that has freed the media from the dominance of the state. It supports the diversity of the press, and these ad companies make money on trying to shut that down. I don't know. This is he's saying a lot of rhetoric that is seems hyperbolic.
Well, just remember where it's coming from. I mean, he represents the companies that advertise. So, you can't say everything that he's saying is.
And I think the quote that is getting the most circulation on the web right now is Mr. Rothenberg didn't stop there. Quote, "These ad block companies are little bad word. He said, "They are run by a handful of people with silly titles and funny walks who are individually irrelevant and are diminishing freedom of expression." Went a little personal there.
Yeah, take it.
But you're right. The source here is a gentleman who thinks that pop-up ads, who thinks online advertising are works of art and are political statements and are should have complete freedom, and everyone should have not just the right but the liberty to see every single one of them.
Yeah.
So
just again, take that with several grains of salt.
And again, we have had AdBlock Plus here on the show talking about the product a number of times.
And actually, we have them listed on our free software page.
Yeah, we do. And we talked about the CEO. It's not simply about blocking all ads. It's not about going about your day and never seeing another ad. It's about only allowing the right kinds of advertising onto into your browsing experience. Because every time you navigate to a new page and there's a whole page ad, that gets annoying to say the least. Or a 30-second ad before you watch a 10-second YouTube clip. I mean, there are correct ways to do advertising, and AdBlock Plus lets you keep the good and block the bad. So.
Well, we'll continue to follow that along too, and we should have AdBlock back on the show.
Sure.
I definitely think so. All right, Ben and I are doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. We have time to do maybe one more story. This is from Maximum PC's Paul Lilly. Intel is starts shipping faster clocked Skylake and Xeon CPUs for laptops. Okay. So he goes on to say, if you haven't been all that impressed with the first batch of Skylake-based laptops to hit the market, hang tight. Faster models are on the horizon. Intel just added some new Core i7 Skylake and Mobile Xeon mobile models to its CPU price list. Okay, and it's only a matter of time before they trickle into new laptop offerings. He says, this is good news if you've been hankering for a high-performance laptop upgrade. Even though Skylake has been shipping since last year, laptops based around Intel's 6th-generation Core architecture have mostly been aimed at entry-level and mainstream users. Okay. Among the chips Intel just added to its price list, the fastest is the Core i7 6970HQ. It's a quad-core chip with hyper-threading support, clocked at 2.8 gigahertz, and with 8 megabytes of cache. It's listed at $623, so expect this one to show up only pretty much in premium price laptops. But it's a fast little sucker. Two other entries include the Core i7 6870HQ and the 6770HQ. Both are also quad-core CPUs with hyper-threading support, which basically means they can, run more application at the same time. The higher of the two clocked at 2.7 gigahertz with 8 megabytes of cache and priced at $434, and the other one at 2.6 gigahertz with 6 megabytes of cache and priced at $378. These are likely to hold the high-end fort until Intel's Extreme Edition Skylake chips manifest themselves. Now, in regard to mobile workstations, Intel also added a trio of Xeon CPUs, all of which are quad-core parts with hyper-threading support 8 megabytes of cache. Okay, and they go to list them there. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, Intel fleshed out its Celeron line on the desktop with some new chips, and they listed them there as well. There are quite a number of them. But bottom line is that if you're looking for a faster processor for your computer, evidently they're on the horizon, and you'll be seeing them soon.
Yeah, and if these prices are right, I mean, the prices are crazy cheap.
Yeah. Well, the top of the line, the most expensive one, was $623.
Right. Yeah. No, that one's big. But I was looking down at the Celeron, and $160 for their top of the line, and then they go from like $50 to $100 for that.
Yeah.
But no, the $600 one at the top of the line, that is crazy impressive as well. Yeah,
and again, it's quad core, hyper-threading support, 8 megabytes of cache. I mean, that's a fast processor, and it's their new top of the line.
Well, Intel's bread and butter. Well, not their bread and butter anymore. I think they make more off of business solutions, but they've always been very good about processor speed. So
yeah,
it's good to see that they're still pushing as much as they can.
All right. I mean, that's their business, so why not? Sure.
One more story.
Okay.
I swear, one more.
Okay.
How about Facebook?
What about it?
Facebook could be fun. No, not even Facebook. Okay, well, long story short about the Facebook story that we're not going to do, instead of a thumbs up or thumbs down or dislike or anything like that people have been asking for, Facebook is now going to get a reaction spectrum where it's going to be happy, sad, angry, excited, blah, blah, blah. So instead of just a simple thumbs up, sorry everyone, my great-great-grandfather just passed away. He was 384 years old. Our hearts and wishes go out to the rest of the family. Instead of a thumbs up saying, yay, glad he's finally dead, now there's going to be a spectrum of emotions to go along with that, and that should be coming sometime this year.
Yeah, more important.
But the real story that I think we have time to get to is this one about Arrow. Arrow, and if I'm not mistaken, Arrow it seems like is the name of that
New York City?
Yeah, the radio frequency TV company. Anyways, they have a new product out called Starry. And Starry is a router for wireless internet, but it does it with millimeter wave lengths. Right. So Starry aims to deliver broadband-level wireless internet to your home with tech used by the military because, military tech, that's some good stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're not going to have as much time as I wish we did to get into this, but Arrow dared to take on the broadcast industry by streaming over-the-air TV channels to the internet.
That got them in trouble.
Yep, and the Supreme Court ruled that was illegal. But the founder is taking on yet another established industry, internet service providers. And today, at a New York City launch event, he unveiled Starry, the first consumer company to use millimeter wave technology to deliver wireless internet access. And up until now, that's mainly for the military. Well, he says he claims that Starry's network, which runs in a 38 gigahertz unlicensed wireless band, will be able to deliver gigabit speeds to home wirelessly for far less than the traditional broadband. Mm-hmm. There also won't be any data caps. It will start beta testing a network in Boston this summer.
Wow.
The company's equivalent to a cellular tower are active phase array devices called Starry Beam. And by the way, if you can actually go out and take a picture at this, take a look at the pictures, it looks very, very nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. I hope they don't squash this. I mean, this looks like a potential to bring high broadband into a system where it might not be available or it's so costly.
See, I think where they're going to get pushback is that, let's face it, ISPs are a very established, ecosystem, and if you let's pretend you did order something like Starry for $350 and there was a minimal monthly fee for broadband level wireless internet connection for sub a couple $100.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna get some kind of pushback from the ISPs.
Yeah.
because that's taking a lot of money and a lot of business away from them. So, let's definitely see what they do in the summer. But it's technology worth taking a look at.
My hat's off to this guy. I mean, he's been thinking beyond the box, and so far, the Supreme
This guy
Court.
must have, venture capital and angel investors left and right that he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick this hornet nest, and you guys are going to give me enough money so I can pay my bills, and I'm just going to rattle as many cages as I can. Thank you very much. Who knows? Maybe using an unlicensed frequency, like they said, the 32 megahertz or gigahertz band. Maybe the Supreme Court is going to rule that you can't just claim those for yourself, and maybe then Star will be banned. But hey, he's trying different things.
Yeah, he is, and I mean, it's a nice looking unit. There's pictures further down, with the little triangular boxes on the website, and you can see it.
And those are the router units. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they look really nice, Starry basically says that the potential to be as groundbreaking as Arrow, and even the author says he hopes that it sticks around a lot longer. I mean, this could be yet another alternative for people, so ISPs don't have the monopolistic hold. I mean, having something like this out, would prove to be anti-monopolistic, and I think, but obviously there's some hurdles you're going to have to go through. But heck, if I can get this kind of thing for that kind of money, it would certainly be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would pay it.
And that's the problem. If it proves to be too successful, there's going to be legislation against it.
As the famous guy said, "Hey, I'd buy that for $1." Okay.
I guess if someone isn't trying to sue you into extinction, then you're not doing enough innovation.
Yeah, that's true. Dick DeBartolo is next here on the Computer America Show. The GizWiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. He's in the queue. He's going to be here with us. He's here with us now. We're going to take a quick, short, top-of-the-hour break, and we'll be right back with the GizWiz. This is the Computer America Show.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we continue on. We finished our computer and technology news. That was brought to you by Slimware Utilities, and we certainly have more stories like that coming up as the week progresses. Again, if you miss any portion of the show, you certainly can listen again. We archive all of our shows at ComputerAmerica.com. Again, that last story, though, you said it. You're correct. That was the guy that was with Arrow, and they got shut down. All the people they were saying that it was unfairly competitive and it was illegal, and the Supreme.
Well, it was illegal to not to capture the kind of the byproduct of broadcasting those things, but it was illegal to then put it on the internet through your own service as your own content. That was the part that got them shut down. So but hey, it was a legal loophole that they exploited to shut Arrow out of business.
Well, but they're not out of business. I mean, this is the same guy. He's coming back with
shut the Arrow wireless antenna out of business, but Arrow, the new internet service.
Sorry, yeah.
Might be around.
It might be around. And again, I really hope that something like this can come to fruition, because really it could bring internet not only to where you can get internet access now, but probably to places where you really can't get internet services provided, or at least at a good rate and at a good speed. And it could form a viable alternative to how you can get internet brought into your home. And I'm all for anything that's going to be able to do that. Google was working on something too, a number of having these like little dishes where they would capture, the frequencies, and so this guy looks to me he's on the right track. I hope that he doesn't get legal.
He's doing good work.
Yeah, you won't get pushed out of existence by all the legalese that goes on, and find a viable, make himself a viable alternative. Anyway, welcome into the second hour of the show. Just to mention, it's Wednesday, but if you haven't gotten your entry in yet for our contest, we certainly encourage you to do so. Head over to computeramerica.com. It's under our Interact pull-down menu under Social Media Contests, and you can see all the different ways you can participate. Basically, we're giving away the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse, valued at $80. We do that every Friday. All you have to simply do is visit all the different social media places that support Computer America, where we have a presence: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all those different places. Subscribe or like just one time, and then that's the number of drawings that you'll get each week. I mean, entries you'll have each week to enter it. So. That's how we're doing it for now, and hopefully you'll subscribe. All right. Anything else before we continue on here, Ben? You might want to mention that we haven't.
No, you always ask me that, and I always have nothing to say. I'm starting to feel like a terrible talk show host.
No, you always have some interesting things to say. Well, anyway, let's bring him on. He's known as the GizWiz, as well as being Mad Magazine's maddest writer. His name is Dick DeBartolo. He's mad about gadgets, and he's here to share some of them with us today. He's an official Computer America correspondent who appears here on the Computer America show every last Wednesday of the month. Dick, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
We're doing fine. By the way,
Well.
yeah, Ben wants to thank you for the recommendation. If you look at his glasses now, he has the non-glare coating like you do.
Oh, yeah, I'm not wearing my non-glare, but let me see Ben's again.
Yeah, no, it really has worked out well, and it's surprising. Not just the picture of me. I mean, I always look gorgeous, but the pictures of me look gorgeous as well. But just and I've said this on the show before, just having the anti-glare makes looking at screens and monitors and phones and things like that just makes it better, because then you don't get that distortion, and it's just easier to look at.
Yeah. Now, did you get him at Lens Crafters, or is everybody doing that?
I think I got them at Lens Crafters.
Oh, okay. And I think do you remember, is it a $20 option or a $40 option?
Oh man, I don't know. I pay an arm and a leg for my glasses regardless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like $30. It was totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Oh yeah, no. So if you want to have, especially if you're on camera or something and you want any glare, and as you heard Ben say, and neither one of us have any interest in the company. When you buy your glasses, just tell them you want any glare coating, and they do it on whatever your prescription is.
Especially if you're close to a monitor like he is and you are, Dick. It does come. You don't have these two bright things glaring back at you. Okay, so anyway, every month we ask Dick DeBartolo to supply some specific items that are of interest to the Computer America show, and what I highly recommend that you do is that you go to GizWiz.biz, which is the website, and there is a banner there. I think it's the fourth one down. It says non-paid lackey fun on Computer America. If you click that banner, you'll go to a special page where we have items highlighted and that we're going to speak on today. Of course, at the GizWiz.biz website, you can see all the things that Dick talks about, but these are the items specifically selected for this hour that we're going to be talking about, and you can see that for yourself. Or again, if you're watching the live video stream at computeramerica.com, you can see Dick, you can see myself, and Ben will also display the website. And the nice thing about the website, Dick always has links to the different websites that you can see, and the pricing information. It's all there. So even after the show, we highly recommend that you go to GizWiz.biz and check out everything that Dick is doing. By the way, how are you? I guess this is the first, so Happy New Year to you, right?
Yes, the same. And Ben, I could not find you at Showstoppers. Were you there?
Yeah.
I was. They had us off in the back to the left.
Okay. You know what? I went around just. I asked them if I could go in like 15 minutes early. and I could not find a sign on any table that said Computer America.
I don't think we had a sign on the table, but we had the big banner behind us. I did this a few times actually. I was spitting distance from Leo Laporte, I want to say. No. Dave Graveline. Dave Graveline.
Dave Graveline. He was, you were spitting.
I didn't spit at him. I want to make that clear, but I was right there.
Oh, okay. No, because I and Padre were representing TWIT, but we didn't have a booth there. We were actually roaming the floor.
Right.
I wish because you could have come over and said hi.
Well, you know what? It was very different. Is because Leo Laporte said, you know what? Instead of making videos, just turn the camera on and just leave it on. So everywhere we walked, we were on camera. So, but I did look beforehand, but somehow I missed you.
Yeah, he was there.
Honestly, I wish I had more time to just walk the floor. I mean, between doing the show and Showstoppers was only like a 4-hour event, 2 hours doing the show, and I only had admittedly half an hour went to eating. They had good food there, but the other half hour was walking the floor. I only got to talk to a dozen booths or something like that. There were so many great things there. I just didn't get a chance to see.
Dick, he came back with a stack of cards. I kid you not, like that thick, of all the business cards.
Yes.
And he just now got them entered into a spreadsheet, so we can take advantage of them.
Yeah, no. The shows are overwhelming, and it's my favorite part of CES is PepCom and Showstoppers, because in each one is about 4 hours, and in those 4 hours, you just save miles of walking. Instead of going to a booth where there are 50,000 things, and then you have to find a PR person and saying, which of these are new? Or if you find just someone at the booth, and often they say, well, if you don't have an appointment, we actually can't see you.
Oh, they actually say that to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Absolutely. The only time if it's something I really want to see, I get a little snotty and just say, I will just tell the PR person that ABC News was here and we're sorry to be turned away. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we can see you. But no, it's Bedlam. I think they sent out a notice that there were 170,000 people there.
Yeah. In Vegas for the CES event, and I ran into a couple companies that were a little rude. It's like, we really don't have time for you. I'm like, all right, none of them put their hand in my face, but a few came close. Yeah,
it is difficult. It's sort of it's like becoming the red carpet where, I never knew it until I saw a special about the red carpet where reporters just don't roam on the red carpet and talk to celebrities. You get pre-interviewed as to what is your outlet, what are the demographics of your outlet, are you national or international, how soon will this be on, is this live? You have this whole galaxy of things before you can get, and then they say, well, you qualify for the B celebrities. We can let you meet people who are in the film, but none of the stars.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. And now that everybody in the world is a blogger at these events, they start being very picky as to who they want to talk to.
This is right.
Anyway.
Such as the.
I don't want to say Computer America opened a few doors, but I mean, people had that look on their face like, oh, look, another, young 20-something blogger. Wow, that's, at least he had the courtesy to wipe the Cheeto dust off his fingers. But
yeah, it opened a few doors for me, but it was a back door.
Yeah. But
it was still a door.
No. Well, he was able to get many good interviews and potentials, and we're going to have guests from that event, Dick, for the next several months.
Oh, I bet. No, that's an ideal place to actually line people up, because instead of 100 phone calls, you're just there live. And,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so anyway, GizWiz.biz, and you just click on the non-paid Lackey Fund on Computer America, and you're going to see everything we're talking about on today's show. And it's funny that we started talking about glasses and being non-reflective because the very first item, and these are again new and unique gadgets from CES 2016, and the very first one is thin optics.
Thin optics, I like these a lot because I use readers, and sometimes once you get used to readers, if you forget your readers, you're pretty much dead. You know, if it's giant type, you can read it, but as far as reading the newspaper or something, you can't. So I try to have spare reading glasses stuck everywhere, you know, up at Mad Magazine and down at the boat. So in case I forget them. So thin optics is a way to make sure you always have a pair of readers with you. They are very thin, very lightweight, very sturdy little magnifiers. They come in 1.5 magnifications, 2 and 2.5, and basically they're so light and so small because they don't have ear frames for them. You basically get a pair of these, you bend them open, put them on your nose, and let them snap closed, and they stay there. And what several things are great about them is they're practically indestructible. As a matter of fact, on their website, they say if you ever break them, we'll just replace them for you. And they're very small. And you can buy them 3 ways. You can buy just the glasses. They're about $20. You can get them in something called a universal pod for $5 more. And the universal pod is great because it's a rugged case for the glasses, but it has a sticky back, peel off back. So you can stick it on any phone, on the side of an attaché case. You can stick it to a backpack and always have a pair of thin optics glasses in there. Or if you want to spring for somewhere between $38 and $39, you can actually buy a phone case that has the pod to take the glasses built in. So you get a pair of glasses of magnification of your choosing and a fairly decent phone case for under $40. And the glasses come in colors, as I said, different magnifications. And on their website, you can see they have this machine that bends them every which way. They're made of titanium.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
Titanium and ninethol, I think it's called. 10 times more elastic than spring steel. Lenses are polycarbonate, so they're really ruggedly built.
They're shatterproof. Yeah, so they basically, you say the frames weigh less than a nickel.
Yes, they do. They're great. I threw one in my, actually at the show, the guy said, "You want a pair?" And I said, "God, I'd love a pair." And he said, "What phone are you carrying?" And I said, "Well, I'm carrying the Galaxy S5." And he said, "Oh, we make a case for that." And I snapped it on my phone, and I like the case and I like the glasses.
So you actually found a case that you like.
You know what? You know what? I tell you what, I normally don't like cases on phones, but I am so tired of the phone in my pocket dialing.
Yeah.
Turning on. And when you have a phone case, and a feature of the phone case that is not really advertised as a feature is when you have a phone case on, now the on-off button is kind of recessed because there's just a little notch in the phone case for your finger to go in, but that little notch is not big enough that as you're walking around, your pocket hits it and turns the phone on. So that's why I'm sort of leaving this phone case on, with even though it has the added feature of a pair of magnifiers built in.
Do you like the glasses? I mean,
I do. I do. I think for for day-to-day walking around, I'm certainly going to continue wearing the magnifiers, with the earpieces.
Yeah.
But to know that I always have a pair as a spare, I think is great.
Yeah, they look really nice. And again, you can get them on Amazon now.
Yes, Amazon, right?
And they're about $20. So hey.
About $20 for the glasses. 20. You should get them with the $25 thing, where it comes with the universal pod, because that way you have a protective case for the glasses, and you can stick the case anywhere with the sticky back.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're getting to the point now where glasses are no longer made of glass. I mean, they're
Oh, that's interesting.
you know,
I think you're probably right.
yeah, and we're getting to the point.
They're plastic at this point.
Yeah, it's and because it's so much lighter, you don't wind up with those 2 marks on your nose, because the glasses weigh, 5 pounds or,
Yep.
they really are getting streamlined. Okay, now this next one, again, is a product called the Zolt, and this looks to me like it's you can forget about carrying a bunch of chargers and cables when you travel. What is this and how does it work?
Yeah, so Zolt is really neat. It weighs 3 ounces. It basically what it comes with 9, I think now it's 8 adapters, which they say can power about 90% of all current laptops. So instead of carrying the power brick that comes with your computer, and it's always a riot when you buy a super thin computer that light as a feather, and then they go, oh, wait a minute, you forgot the power brick that goes with it, and they hand you this 5-pound thing with 80 feet of cable on it. So the Zolt Laptop Charger Plus is a little 3-ounce guy, and it has 3 USB ports on it. One of the USB ports goes to the cable that comes in the box, and at the end of that cable, you put the tip on that will match your laptop. And when you go to GoZolt.com, you can see that, the list is hundreds of laptops that they can power. But then the 2 other USB ports are to power or run your smartphone and or your tablet, so that now instead of carrying 3 adapters, the one Zolt Charger Plus can power all 3 devices. Additionally, the plug has a 90-degree turn on it. So if at the hotel the cables will be pointing in a direction that's not optimum for you, you can leave it plugged in the wall and twist the Charger Plus so that the cables point in a different direction.
That is a very handy feature. On the top, you say, "Oh, okay, that's nice." That's not a nice. That's sometimes a required feature to have that, because you're either up against a desk or up against a wall, something which you'd have to manipulate to try to make it work. So the fact that you can direct the cables basically in the direction that is least restrictive, that would really go a long way.
Absolutely. It comes in colors. It's about $100 about $100. And if you have an Apple laptop, it does cost an extra $20 to get one of their special cables for their line of laptops, the Apples.
You mean the lightning connector?
No, I think isn't it a magnetic connector? I think it's not, that goes on their laptops. Ben, does it have another name? I've never had a Mac.
I'm not
anyway, it's I know it's magnetic, but I don't think it's lightning.
Okay. Well, the lightning connector is the end of the plug that goes.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, and you're right. There is a magnetic connector.
Which is clever, because if you fall over your laptop cable,
right, it breaks the connection. Your laptop doesn't go flying.
Exactly. So that is GoZolt, and if it sounds a little familiar, it just shows you how long it takes things to reach the marketplace. They had a mock-up of this at CES 2015.
No way.
And they started shipping it in the end of November of 2015. So they were showing it at this year's CES as a yes, now you can buy it device.
So it takes about a year to bring something like this to market.
Yes, I think part of the thing is having to find out every conceivable laptop and the wattage that this can power laptops up to 70 watts, and then find out the connector and make it safe so that the laptops can be fine with it. Took a very long time. Oh, and I forgot to mention also that the AC plug is a fold-down plug, which helps also keep it
From bending. Yeah.
From bending, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just
A lot of
about-
thought. A lot of thought.
yes, no, absolutely, absolutely. So all that thought and making sure that it works right does take time. In this case, like almost 11 months.
Wow. Exactly. I guess it made overseas. I would imagine. Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I would probably. It seems like in this day to bring something to fruition, in a reasonable amount of time before it becomes obsolete.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I remember it's very funny. Years ago for Mad Magazine, I did the Mad Guide to Computers, all your questions answered.
Mhm.
And one of the question was, how do I know I have the latest technology? And the answer is, oh, that is so simple. Just buy a new computer every Monday. And it hasn't gotten that bad with computers, but a lot of tech, 6 months and it's old stuff.
It is. I mean, stuff. Not only is it old, it's being phased out. You can't even get it anymore.
Well, yes, the worst is like with Microsoft now. I have Word, and I don't know how much Word cost when I bought it, but it's Word like Word 2000, and it kind of worked as it went on, and now it's just dead.
Yeah.
Some versions of Windows 7, depending on what you had, would let it run, but Windows 10 wants nothing to do with it.
They want you to use the Word in the cloud. The 360. Yeah, they want. That's it. Everything today seems to be moving in that direction anyhow. Okay, now for all those coffee lovers out there, you thought Keurig was the end all be all, but it's not.
This is a very bizarre gadget. I am a coffee freak, but obviously not such a freak because I do not know the ideal temperature that I like to drink my coffee at. Do you?
No.
Ben,
No.
Ben, you probably don't drink coffee, right?
It's
I don't actually know.
Okay.
190 degrees, I think, is the upper end of the range.
Oh, I'd melt my mouth.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's called Ember, and it is the Ember temperature control technology mug. And so basically, if you know the ideal temperature for your coffee, actually it's quite ingenious. You put the coffee in the Ember mug, and then there is a digital thermometer at the bottom, and you turn the bottom of the mug and you dial this to the ideal drinking temperature. It has enough technology in there that if the coffee is too hot, it cools it down to that temperature. And if the coffee is not up to that temperature, it turns into heating and brings the coffee up to that temperature. And then it has a built-in battery so that even if you're carrying the mug around, you will get 2 hours of coffee, assuming you don't drink it all, 2 hours of coffee at your exact drinking temperature.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And at first I thought, and then I knew this was going to be wildly expensive. So it's $129.
Yeah.
But as I say, I always have a good idea if people are interested or not by what they do on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I forgot what they were on.
Mhm.
So they raised $350,000. And it comes with a docking station. And if the mug is on the docking station, then it can keep the coffee that temperature
Maintains it
for the day
indefinitely or something.
Exactly.
I mean, your coffee's gonna get stale before the temperature.
Yes, exactly. So if you're a coffee freak and or want to learn what the ideal drinking temperature is, you can check out Ember Mug, and they're at embertech.com.
Listen, we make fun of it, but people are passionate about their coffee. I mean,
no, absolutely. No, you know what? I have no problem with people being passionate about things. If you have the money for it, and actually, probably $129. If you buy $5 and $6 coffee every day and end up throwing it out because 20 minutes in, it's not the temperature you want.
Right.
At the end of probably 6 months, you will have saved $129 by having to be able to drink the drink the entire day, or for at least 2 hours.
You put the coffee in a one of those a thermos. A thermos will hold it, but for a while. But you're right. I mean, if you put it even in a coffee cup, that's a paper coffee cup that's thermos that's lined, so it kind of preserves the temperature. Eventually, though, that's too cold, and I know sometimes you have to add boiling hot water, or you have to, which dilutes the coffee, or you have to put it in the microwave, for 20 seconds, and I think even that kind of alters the flavor of it slightly. If you
absolutely.
So there you go. If you're passionate about your coffee, then $120, $130 probably is reasonable to maintain the drink the way you want to do it. Okay. All right. Now, this next one, actually, I don't know if we have time to get into this because we only have about a minute, but I can kind of set it up for you, Dick.
Okay.
We've seen it. It's been in the news. So many of these little miniature, they call them levitating skateboards. They're not. They're like mini Segways, really, and they were bursting into flame, and
all kinds of fun stuff.
All kinds of fun, people were still buying them. This toy could explode, but because the batteries were going up, they were coming out of China. From I don't know how reputable the company was. I mean, there's all these things going on. But Segway itself, the company Segway, has been around for quite some time. They really make terrific products. And when we come back, Dick is going to tell us about the Segway Mini Pro. Okay? And this is a very cool little device, and you can feel fairly assured that the batteries in this aren't going to ignite, while you're riding on it. All right, you're listening to the Computer America Show. As I said, Dick DeBartolo, the GizWiz, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, is here with us. You can follow along at GizWiz.biz. Click on the Computer America banner, the non-paid lackey fund on Computer America, and you can follow along with us. We've got a news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. This is the Computer America Show. Dick, Ben, and I will be right back after this. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Yeah, Cleveland's where sports teams don't win pennants, they do pennants. Hi, Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, Life-Proof cases. Life-Proof is an OtterBox brand for phone cases that somehow manage to deliver the level of protection you'd expect from them, but in a much lither form factor. We tested on an iPhone 6. These cases are wonderfully thin, and the charging slot is easy to open. But removing the case from the handset is challenging. That is something you don't do very often. One nice touch, pun intended, you can use the fingerprint reader through the cover. So bottom line, Life-Proof cases are drop-proof, waterproof, slender defenders. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
So, welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Marty Winston, for that News Bulletin Review. That was actually someone I got to meet out at Showstoppers. But
Did you meet Marty out there, Dick?
I did.
Okay. Well, you see, all right. Well,
and he didn't point you to me. Weird. But anywho, yes, we are here this whole hour with Mr. Dick DeBartolo, and he's talking about all these great gadgets that he's found. And we were just about to get into a Segway's version of the hoverboard, and although hopefully it doesn't come with the added features of taking off toes and catching on fire.
Yes, no, I think Craig is right. Is that they have such a reputation? And it was very funny because when I was at CES and I looked down this hallway at the back of the hallway, I saw this huge lit Segway sign, and I thought, since everybody with a hoverboard refers to it as a Segway without a handle, I thought I'd go down and see what they think of that market. And as I'm approaching the booth, here is someone on a very high-tech looking, not exactly a hoverboard, because they did it their own way. And part of the reason I think so many of these hoverboards burst into flames is when I saw the first hoverboard at Toy Fair 2015, which is almost a year ago in a couple of weeks, it was selling for $1,600.
Wow.
And then everybody got into the marketplace with knockoffs, and then they were down to 600, 500, 400. I think at one point there was fire sale. I guess you shouldn't say fire sale. But and I don't know if you saw it, but there's an unboxing where this guy unboxes one of these things and takes it out in the yard, and within 30 seconds of unboxing it, it's on fire because he had charged it all night long. So anyway, Segway now has their own version of a hoverboard, but it's different in a lot of respects. One is that the hoverboard things, you stand on them and there's nothing to hold on to. It is a little bit different on the Segway Mini Pro, in as much as there is an adjustable shaft that comes up the middle of the Mini Pro, and it is so that your legs, especially your thighs, can direct the Mini Pro in the direction you want. So instead of having to shift your entire weight as you do with a hoverboard, the control should be a lot easier on the Mini Pro. And they had a stage there with models doing it, so I didn't get a first of all, I didn't know if they were letting anybody do it, but I didn't want to go up on stage and make a fool of myself. So this, to my mind, is a much easier way to drive this Segway, but it goes a lot further, in as much as the Mini Pro is Bluetooth enabled, and a dashboard for it can come up on your tablet. Not only can you see the speed and everything, of course you don't want to be watching your tablet all the time as a dashboard, but you can actually drive the Mini Pro on its own. So if you're at a picnic and you want to leave, and you leave the Mini Pro by a tree and you don't feel like walking back to the tree, you can drive it from your tablet.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Make it come to you. That's kind of
Not only make it come to you, but they don't have a release date. I think the person I was talking to said there's no official release date, maybe in the fall. They have a way to make this into a little robot. I think they're going to have like perhaps a tray that you can put on it so that you can actually drive it around with drinks and things. So it does far more than I forgot the name. Iohawk was the one that was showing at Toy Fair. Now Iohawk is still selling for $1,600, although they periodically have sales for around $1,200 or $1,300. But at that kind of price point, you know that they are watching carefully how it's built. And I'm sure they're riding herd on the batteries that go into it. And I doubt if you're going to see the kind of problems that you are seeing on these knockoffs that you are on this. Now, their list price is the same as the Iohawk, $1,600, but they expect it to go to Amazon at a $12.99.
So to me, that would make it worth the price. I mean, that's like saying, with my car, I can just hit a button and have my car drive up to me where I am. That's sort of similar to what this does. It could be off of this, and you just tell it to come up and pick you up.
Absolutely, and this also has tires as opposed to plastic wheels, so that it can go over some bump things, uneven surfaces. So I think they're going to do well with it. And I said to the person, why is it called the Segway 9-Bot Mini Pro? And so I didn't realize this. 9-Bot was a company that was evidently making knockoffs of some Segway products. And Segway sued them, and 9-Bot said, look, instead of settling this, how much do you want for the company? So 9-Bot actually bought Segway. Isn't that funny the way things work in big business these days? And so the Segway Mini Pro, I think they're calling it their self-balancing scooter. But I think I would be a lot more comfortable on this with that, being able to control it with my thighs, because you would almost feel like you had something to stand on. And I think that rise is about 18 inches.
Have you ever tried riding just a Segway?
I love riding a Segway.
Okay,
I don't have super balance.
No.
But
well, I mean, I have too, but the point is, I couldn't, the hoverboard type, you really have to give a good sense of balance to ride. I
almost killed myself at Toy Fair. I had 2 people help me get on it. I rode like 15 feet and said, come over here and get me off this, because they're very hard to get on and off.
Yeah, they are. You have an incredible sense of balance.
Yes.
And that's the first thing. And then it looks to me like this 9-Bot, this Mini Pro, Segway Mini Pro, is going to be a little bit more stable.
I think so. It goes up to 19 miles on a single charge. Top speed is 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Weighs 28 pounds. Recharges in 4 hours.
I think the additional weight, and also you have something to push against with this.
Yes.
You have that little extra. It's not like you're freewheeling on a pair of skates. You have some tension, and you have a really good accelerometer that kind of you can balance yourself more easily without losing your balance.
I think so. And that center pod or center stand is going to be great, where they can add these accessories. Since it's self-driving, they're even going to have a little like a little robot kind of thing that you can make it into your personal robot.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's neat. I think it's very neat.
Okay,
but I mean, like, the whole balancing thing is when I was growing up, I had those
blades.
The Razor scooters.
Oh, the Razor.
And those seem like the most natural, easy thing to balance on ever. But then, be it a drunk cousin, be it an uncle, be it a whatever, would try to hop on and see if they could do it. I mean, they would, like, put one foot on and then immediately fall over. Like, balance is, I don't want to say balance is a young person's sport, but it just seems like the younger crowd has a much easier time balancing.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I have a Razor scooter that
But
I actually haven't used it much this last year, but
Did
I
the
ride
Razor-
to the park with it a lot.
Did the Razor scooter have a handlebar, or was it
It had handlebars, and they still just kind of put one foot and then toppled over. And,
It's a regular, a push scooter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy to ride enough. Okay, now if you have ever find yourself in the need to monitor the breathing of a person who could be thousands of miles away, boy, do we have something for you.
Yeah, this is neat. This is one of those stories where PR person called and said, I have this webcam. I said, oh, please, you could stop right there. I have done webcams to death. Unless this webcam can make toast or wash windows. And she said, no, if you're going to Showstoppers, we will show you something that you're going to find really outstanding. So it was the first alert. It's called the First Alert EnviroCam, and it's not coming out to the fall, but it is pretty amazing. So you can use it as a security cam. It also will tell you the temperature in the room, humidity in the room. It's a 1080p high def camera, but it has a non-contact respiration monitor.
Wow.
So from afar, you can turn the camera, tilt it, aim it at a person, and if the person is within 15 feet of the camera, it monitors their breathing, and it sends you a diagram of their breathing, and it has some stats on the screen. There's a little learning program that you'll go through to find out exactly what you're looking at. But it's pretty amazing. They can be dressed. You don't want to have a coat on them, but they said in indoor clothing, it reads right through that. So
would you want this pointed, let's say, in the bedroom? You want to monitor something if they're sleeping, if they're still breathing? I mean.
Yeah, exactly. So my thought was more like someone's watching television, and you're using it as a security monitor, and you just go, Mom, I don't know, she's sleeping. Let me check her breathing. So turn the camera around and check her breathing.
This is where the program If This Then That comes in. It's like, if Mom stops breathing, then send me a text message.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I said, not coming out too fall, and I said to the guy, I said, this has got to be far more expensive than any standard webcam since it does so much. And they did not have a price, but they did say it would probably be in the $400 to $500 range. But it's really unique.
I know, but again, if somebody stops breathing, you have like seconds, maybe a minute.
Well, I think the thing is, you'll if their breathing is super shallow.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna go on there and it's red lined and go, oops, I guess I'm too late. I should have monitored this an hour earlier. But if someone is not feeling well, I think this would be a good way to call a neighbor if you're 1,000 miles away and say, can you go over and check quick and
real quick
if they need an ambulance or something. I just thought it was an amazing technology. I don't have an immediate use for myself, but
I want to say that we're gonna first alert on somewhere in early February, but they had a lot of great products that I don't know what in particular you were looking at. Like, we went with a couple other people. It's like, yeah, I'm just looking at toasters or appliances or headphones, but First Alert had sensors in almost everything that you put in your house. Carbon monoxide. Like, they had sensors in everything.
Yes, and the connected home was a very big product.
Yeah.
At a CES where everything talked to everything. Oh, there was one device there. Did you get to see? I can't even remember the name of it. It's a remote control. Maybe I'll find it by the next show. It's a remote control that you aim at something like your TV set, and the screen on the remote shows you a picture of a TV, and you click yes. And
I did
then
not see that.
you can control your TV. Then you raise it up a little and point it toward a light, and the picture of a light bulb is on the screen. And you click yes, and then you can control that.
Huh.
So instead of having to tell the remote, go through the buttons, you let the remote tell you, is this what you want to control? Anyway, I'll get more on that. But I want to get to the next gadget, of course. This is my favorite thing.
Okay. By the way, Dick, we just got an email for one of our listeners, and he's asking if you could turn your microphone up. He says because he can't hear you very loud on the Hangouts. So I don't know if you have a way of doing that. Just one of our listeners just sent this.
Okay. I'm doing that.
That sounds better. Okay. Well,
okay.
That'll work. And thanks to our listener for pointing that out. So this next one is the under $100 Windows 10 machine.
This is too much. Did you see this, Ben, when you were there?
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay, so Kangaroo is the world's smallest personal portable PC, and it runs Windows 10. Now, there are PC sticks out there where you have a complete Windows 10 computer on it, but this has them beat in a couple of things. The dock that comes with it, and the fact that it has an internal battery, so you can actually use it away from power for up to 4 hours, and for some bizarre reason it says 4 hours of casual use. So you have to be in a lounge chair with your feet up. But what's neat about this guy, it's about the size of one of the largest smartphones. So it's Windows 10, 32 gigabytes of memory, but there's a micro SD card so you can add more. And then there's a little mini dock that slides into the bottom of it. The dock has two USB ports, a 2.0 and a 3.0, so that you can connect a keyboard and a mouse, and then HDMI out. And I tried it in my kitchen. I have a little kitchen monitor with HDMI in, so I connected it to that. I had Windows 10 in the kitchen. But the best was, I thought, wait a minute, my Vizio 4K TV. So I connected the Kangaroo to that with a USB cable, and then I put in a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, and then I was able to sit in my chair and read my email on a 43-inch 4K TV. I didn't even need my magnifiers.
Wow.
It is really great. And the object of that snap-off dock is that you could buy a second dock for $39, leave the second dock connected at your workspace, and then just travel with the little Kangaroo main unit. And when you get home, snap it into that dock, and you're hooked up to Windows 10. It's $99.
It's interesting. You just mentioned you have a Vizio 4K. We just got a Vizio 4K TV as well. I mean, the price was too good to walk away from.
Unbelievable. Mine was $500, I think.
Yes, we paid about $560, but we got ours was a 4K, but it was the 50-inch one.
Wow, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say no. You know, just too good.
Yeah, and everything's built in. You know, there's smart TVs and there's
wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you hooked your Kangaroo, the Kangaroo to it,
Kangaroo up to that, and I have Windows 10 whenever I want in the living room.
Very
it's really neat. Really.
Well,
neat.
we only have a few minutes left. Let's move quickly to the Aroma Care.
Yeah, Aroma Care is a good point. So you know, aromatherapy. I don't know. What's your take on aromatherapy?
It smells.
I like it.
It smells.
It smells good. Okay.
I mean, I like it because I'm big into candles already. So I mean, it's.
Oh,
you know.
okay. Well, this guy, Laurent Moy, who's CEO of this company, AromaCare, and has a PhD in medicinal chemistry. He feels over-medication, people are being over-medicated, and that people now are turning to alternative medicines, and that aromatherapy is a complementary natural alternative.
Okay.
He evidently they have a video of them doing tons of research, and they've come out with these different pods for different things, to relax you, to help you fall asleep. And they've come up with this AromaCare device. They call it the world's first connected essential aroma diffuser. And depending on what you are using it for, it will vary the amount of time that it is putting the scent in the air. And they have one for sleep, one to calm you down, one theoretically to help your memory, one for breathing. And it's a Kickstarter project. I don't know how the Kickstarter project is doing. I think it had just started, but they are going to be $65, and they come with 2 of these cartridges that run for several days, I think he said. So if you are into aromatherapy, I think the thing would be is at least go to their website. You can read all about it and see their videos. And I have a web link to their Kickstarter project at GizWiz.biz.
Listen, we're almost out of time. We have something that the one I want you to get to is that how do you scramble an egg in its shell?
This was a riot. Okay, I had to buy this online because I saw this advertised. So basically, and if you get a chance, go to my website because it's kind of the video I did is kind of fun. So basically, you buy this thing and you open it up and you put the egg in it. And I went to close it, and the egg was too big, and I figured, we call this one take theater. I'm pushing it closed, and we'll see what happens. So you push it closed, you have the egg in there, it locks, and read the instructions on how to make it lock, because on Amazon someone didn't, and the lady said it took her 2 weeks to get the egg off the ceiling. So basically, once you get the egg in there, you start you spin it around like 20 times, and it has 2 handles you hold in your hands, and then once it's twisted like that, you pull your hands away, and the twisted cable spins this thing.
It's like an old toy that you.
That's exactly right. Even in the video, I said, "Oh my gosh, it was like a throwback," and I'm doing it. I go, "Oh my, I feel like I'm a kid. There was a toy that did this."
That's right. Yeah.
You do this back and forth, and you're supposed to make sure it spins 18 times or 12 times. And then the object here is to hard boil an egg so that it's a solid yellow egg. It's all mixed. So I put it in the pan. It started boiling, and turned out that we had cracked the egg and jamming it closed. But I figured, again, one take theater, let's boil it anyway. So we cut it open. It was yellow. It actually worked. I actually made egg salad with it, and it wasn't bad. And also on my website, while searching for this, I found a video of a guy who's a do-it-yourselfer who tells you for this thing, for some reason, I think it was $30 or something. There's a guy who, it's $20. There's a guy on Amazon, a guy on YouTube who made one for $20 that can do this with 3 eggs at one time. But it's a very funny thing, and I think you'll enjoy the video. But it really works.
Solid. It's a solid egg.
Yeah, all yellow all the way through.
All the way.
Does it make better boiled eggs?
You know what? The guy who ran the video, who did the YouTube video, and I don't know how he would know this. He said that when you spin the eggs in these things, it weakens the shell. And that if you're hard boil them at a much slower boil than you normally would do, or the eggs will crack.
Yeah.
So it's also possible that I didn't crack the egg in the machine.
But you put it in boiling water.
But I put it in boiling water like I normally would boil an egg.
Listen, Dick, tell us, we got about a minute, so
okay. The next issue of Mad Magazine coming out is going to be, I even forgot what it is. But it's a helpful poster on something. Yes, how to avoid germs at the airport and on airplanes.
Ben could have used that.
Yeah. GizWiz.tv is where our weekly show is on with OMG Chad. And I'm still on with Leo Laporte on radio every week and about once a month on Screensavers with Leo.
Excellent. Well, again, check out the website, GizWiz.biz, and then click on the non-paid Lackey Fund. You can see all the other items that we didn't get to this month. We just didn't have enough time. I was worried we weren't going to have enough items. Boy, look at that. We didn't get there.
I know.
Yeah, we didn't get to everything.
Hold up in a panic. What are you doing? There's not enough stuff.
I blame CES. I mean, everything that you see out of CES, you could talk for forever on.
No. CES is great fun.
It is, and
expensive but fun.
Yes.
But next time we go out there, you will definitely have to hook up, because we're out there. You got to find us, because we'd love to get you on the show.
And I feel so stupid because I blame Craig because he really didn't tell me about PepCom. We were invited to be out there, and the day, I flew in the day of, so I fell right asleep. Next year we're definitely going to make PepCom.
Oh, PepCom is amazing too. The two of them are the way to go. You have to go to those events and the Sands because the Sands is all.
I did go to the Sands. The Sands, the Las Vegas Convention Center was one thing, but the Sands was overwhelming. You go down to a basement or something like that.
You know what? I traveled with a friend of mine who also looks at gadgets, and I said, you know what? Let's not save the Sands for last. Let's start out at the Sands, and any leftover time we'll deal with the convention center. The Sands is the place.
Oh,
well, listen, Dick. Listen, we're stay with us to the end. And thank you so much for being with us here. And again, you can check all the things out at the website at GizWiz.biz. And coming up tomorrow, we're going to have the man himself, Charles Tendell. Hasn't been with us for a while. He was recently on the front page of the New York Times, and where else was he? And the TV show Good Morning America. And he's just a fun guy, and we're going to have him on for both hours of the show tomorrow.
And he's probably going to tell us why we're all pretty much buggered for being connected to the internet.
Yeah, exactly. He's our certified ethical hacker, and he just, as I say, just a fun guy. He's co-hosted the show with me for many, many times, and we're going to have him back. It's been a long time, and he's going to be with us tomorrow. Again, thanks to all of you. Again, thanks, Dick DeBartolo, the GizWiz, and thanks to all of you for watching the show. And Ben and I will see you tomorrow, same place, same channel. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
10 seconds.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thanks for watching. Dick, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Fun. It's always a lot of fun. We'll see you next month, okay?
Okay, very good.
All right,
bye, Ben.
Bye.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Okay, bye.